Do I really need a sensei? That's a very frequently asked question. And the answer is, well, yes, you do. Asking the question is a bit like asking whether a top athlete really needs a coach. I mean, can you learn by yourself? Why do you need a coach? Why do you need somebody to help you with your own learning? Well, the first thing is that we all love to learn more about what we already know. The sensei is there to point you to things that you haven't even seen that are important for your own development. So the essential thing about a sensei is getting you to learn what you need to learn and not what you want to learn. And this is not always easy, and certainly it's very hard to do on your own. The sensei really helps you with this, pointing you in the right direction, in directions that you yourself have never seen. The second reason that you need a sensei is that a lot of lean learning, a lot of lean knowledge is tacit. You won't find it in the books. It's very contextual. It's part of the situation and understanding the situation, and even more than that, having the wisdom to understand that beyond the very small problem we're looking at, much wider capability issues are there. So the lean tools, how they're interpreted in concrete places, in specific places, this is not always easy to grasp. And the senseis really can help with them because they hold all the tradition of Toyota. They hold all the tradition of lean. They hold 60 years of doing this in many, many different specific cases. And this is, you can only get it by being on the gemba with a sensei looking at very specific things. The third point, I think, is people always sensei, but if I don't have a sensei, this is very hard to find. You know, how can I still do lean without having a sensei? And finding a sensei is actually part of your journey. This is part of what you do. This is part of what you're learning. Think of the image like this. First, you read the book and you watch the DVD. And if you want to, imagine you want to learn Tai Chi, and then you go to the park and you're part of a big group. Then you go to a smaller group and you get tutored. Then you go to the teacher and says, please teach me. And eventually the teacher says, you need to go to a teacher that is better than me at this. And you find your own sensei. So finding your sensei, finding a sensei you can work with, get on with, and who will develop you. And maybe it's not just one sensei, maybe it's many. I've met many senseis in my life, and it's wonderful because they all have different takes, different perspectives. And one of the lean jokes is that you haven't lived lean if you haven't seen Battle of the Senseis, when two senseis see the very same shop floor, the very same gemba in a very different way. So finding the sensei is part of your lean journey. This is part of what makes you grow. It means going away from your comfort zone, going away from when you're placed, and looking out to where there's greater competence, greater experience, and greater learning to be had. And in the very act of making the effort, you are committing to learn and committing to learn lean. So this is the third reason that I think you really do need a sensei. Although at a given point in time it might look very inconvenient, it's critical for your own growth and development. And I've learned this the hard way, and every insight in lean that I've had has been triggered by a conversation with a sensei on the shop floor in some form or other.